Hola a todos, bienvenidos de nuevo a Sinergia con Yaeel Duarte. Hoy tengo el placer y el gusto de tener a una líder comunitaria con nosotros. Su nombre es Marlene de la Rosa y voy a dejar que ella se presente y después continuamos con la conversación. Marlene, bienvenida.
Gracias.
Gracias
por la invitación.
Sí, perfecto.
Me llamo Marlene de la Rosa. Yo vivo aquí en Denver por toda mi vida. Y yo tengo tres hijos.
Okay.
Y dos que tienen 29 años, son gemelos.
Okay.
Y una niña que tiene 19 años.
Oh, wow. Muy bien. Gracias por introducirte. I'm going to ask you our next question about if you can share a little bit more about your story.
I am grown up in Denver, and I have always been passionate about education. When I was a young girl, my mom worked at the Chicano Education Project, and they focused on the inequities in education, mainly for Latino students.
Right.
And so I started learning about that, and that's where I became passionate about how I can impact that. And I went to college and wanted to be a teacher. After 4 years, I realized I would not be able to live on the salary of a teacher.
Yes.
So I changed my major. I started an internship program with the Department of Justice and started working there, and just retired a couple of months ago after over 30 years of working there.
Oh, wow. And can you tell us a little bit, because I know you are a community leader for many reasons. Can you elaborate a little bit more on what have you done for the community?
I really believe that I am a servant leader. We serve our community, and that is our main priority. And so my main priority in life has been, how can I do better for my community? How can I help them advance? I started serving when my kids were in school. I became a parent on the Head Start Policy Commission. I continued on to working with the Hispanic Education Advisory Council in Denver Public Schools, and I was on the Hispanic Education Foundation, with the Hispanic Chamber. I continued on to do the Parent Empowerment Council, because one of the things that I learned that is so important for education of our kids is that the families need to be involved.
Yes.
And families need to be made aware of what's going on in the school and how their students are doing, so that they can support them in any way they can.
Definitely. Okay.
And so I've done that. For many years, I participated in the Circle of Latina Leadership, which is leadership, like an 18-month leadership training program to learn how we can better serve our communities. Learning where we came from, where we are now, and how we can use that to go forward and impact our community. So I did that program. After I participated in the program, I was the program coordinator. So helping other women, supporting them while they went through the leadership program. All
Latinas.
All Latinas.
For how many years you did?
I did that for about 8 years.
8 years, wow.
And all this time, I was a single parent with my kids. And my family all lives in California. So, and most of the time I worked 2 jobs. But I knew that is that important to support our kids in our schools.
100%.
And so that's why I continue to do that. About 10 years ago, I was one of many of those women that were in this leadership program. We started a Latina giving circle. It's comprised of just Latina.
Yes.
And so what we do is we put our money together and we give mini grants to organizations serving the Latino community.
Oh, perfect.
And to date, we have given about, in the past 8 years, we've given out $180,000 in mini grants.
Wow.
And then I helped because I also think who is suffering the most is our males,
Right.
our Latino males.
Mm-hmm.
So I helped start a Latino male giving circle, and that's what they focus on, how they can serve Latino males.
Wow. I since the beginning, when I heard her story, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to have her in my program, because we try to make a difference in the world, and you are a perfect leader of that, and a perfect example of how to do that. Thank you so much for all the service you've done, and for everything you've done for the community, Chicano, Latino community, Mexicanos, and everybody integrated, no? I know that you are running for the school board, District 5.
Yes.
What made you decide?
I think that as a servant leader, what I know is leadership is a lifelong journey.
Yes.
You're a leader, you serve your community, and you do it until you can't do it anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And so I feel like there's more work for me to do and make impact, and really take a voice of the parents of families to the school board, which I think has been lacking. And I think sometimes they have forgotten what our main reason, and that's to educate our students.
Definitely.
And so I hope to make that impact in that way.
Definitely. What are your plans? What are you thinking that it needs to be done, other than, educating the community, but within the DPS board?
I think definitely we need to raise up the academic performance of students. I think we live in a city that's has a lot of highly educated people.
Definitely.
So we need to make sure the students that graduate from Denver Public Schools are able to compete in this market, in this job market, that they are able to find their purpose, find their passion, whatever that is,
right,
and how they can help their families. We want to make sure that that's better. And so I want to focus on that academic performance, because we need to. The district is about 55% Latino, and we need to work harder for those students.
Yes.
We have a lot of multi-language learners now, new immigrants coming to Denver, and so we need to focus on how we can give them additional support.
Definitely.
And students in special ed. And then I know safety is a big concern. We need to make sure when kids go to school, they feel safe, and their parents feel safe. They feel okay leaving them in the school.
Definitely.
And so I know that's another thing. And we need to support the teachers.
Yes.
They need good pay. They need mental health services. They deal with a lot of things in the school.
Right.
And I also would like to have more teachers of color that look like the kids that go to school there. I think that's important, that the leadership is always reflective of the people they serve.
Definitely. And you mentioned about mental health. How has that impacted your life? Has been there any moments where you have had, I don't know, any situations going on in your life that you probably thought of, dropping everything you were doing at that moment, or not really?
I think that mental health affects all of us in different ways, and we learn how to work through that. My son is a firefighter, so he has been dealing with a lot of those situations when going on calls, and then he calls me and he talks to me about it, and I think that we forget how much impact and how much detriment when that's not addressed. Mental health issues are not addressed. How harmful it is, not just to the person, but to their family,
the whole community,
to the community, and so that's been hard. I had I have volunteered at North High School for 12 years with the boys basketball program. And we already, and just I don't know how many students that's been, but 4 of them, we have lost 4 of them to negative things and that have gone on in the community, and that has been really crushing.
Yes, absolutely. I also have a son that went through a situation, and as a mom, I wanted to be someone that makes the difference and take that stigma about mental health within our community, because there's a lot of things that we need to learn about the subject, and not only that, but we also have to be empathetic with other parents and try to, help them.
And not judge.
Listen.
And how we can support them, because like you just said, it affects all of us.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a very important thing that we need to look at in the school now. It's much more so, I think, with social media.
Definitely.
That all has a greater impact on our kids than it did like when we grew up.
Exactly. It's way higher, way higher. And I want to ask you my last question. What would you send a message to the community? Why they should vote for Marlene for a DPS board?
I think I come with a very unique background coming to this position, that I have single parent raising kids. I have a different perspective, and what I bring to the table is that my focus and all my work has been grassroots. How do I support families in making the best education decisions? How do I encourage them? How do I get teachers to be more open-minded to parents and more understanding to the situations parents experience, and not being judgmental and thinking maybe they're not participating because they don't care. I don't think that's true at all. I think every parent cares about the success of their kids.
Absolutely. Well, I want to say thank you very much for coming, and we appreciate your time. And you want to say something else? You want to say bye?
I just want to say thank you so much for letting me come and share. And for me, it's been a pleasure to meet you, and to see the work that you're doing in regards to mental health, and how important that is, especially, as you said, in our Latino community, which it's kind of been a stigma.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you for taking the time, and thank you for being here as well. And you have all of my support. I've known her from previous interviews that I've listened about her, and I know she has been a leader to our community, and you should do more research if you want to learn more about Marlene. Where do they find you?
You can visit my website, and it is marlene4dps.com.
Perfect. Thank you again, and have a great day today.
Thank you.
Adiós, hasta luego.